much back on the confidence side, but I always like to stop at the 50. The one thing that'll never change about a football team is their logo usually,
Yep.
and their colors, and it's always fun to kind of stop here at the 50 and recollect. We were talking before this, a lot of money and a lot of trust is going into the athletic programs here. Talk to me about, well, again, kind of highlighting it. This was the first season on this turf field. We got some more coming in, softball fields and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
What is that like as a coach to kind of realize, okay, this is a community that trusts what we're doing and they're buying into the bigger picture?
Yeah, they want to win. Again, it's not just about being competitive. They want to win, and they're investing in all the athletic programs. Like we were talking about, there's going to be a turf baseball field, turf softball field, turf auxiliary field. They're going to put a nice new entrance into this field. Like you said, this is 1 year old. We got on it the Thursday before our first game. It just shows that they're taking athletics seriously, and I couldn't be prouder and more appreciative of everything they've done for me and for all the athletics.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. We talked about confidence just before we hit the 50-yard line. What are you seeing in these kids now? You said there was really no difference on your end as a coach, but now the kids, again, a solid season under their belt. They're starting to buy in as well, obviously. What are we kind of seeing from these kids now? They have that kind of swagger and confidence. That's obviously so important in sports.
And that's it. It's having that swagger. It's no longer can we compete or we hope to compete. It's we're gonna compete. And we have a target on our back, and you can either do one of two things. You can kind of hide from that and pretend it's not there, or you can meet it head on. And that's our message to our kids: is that teams want to take us down now. We're here. We're not running. We'll be here. We're going to put up a fight every week, and that confidence, that swagger is going to go a long way.
Love it. You got some dudes coming back. One name I saw who was on our first team all area was Bryce Compton. You're a receiver yourself,
Yep.
and I saw going into this previous season, you kind of challenged him. You were kind of again seeing what he could do. You know he had potential, and he showed it this year. Talk to me about again what's to expect from him, the senior receiver, as well as you got some. Of course, Caleb Clemzak coming back. You got Jaden Ortiz. You got a couple guys who are very solid on both sides of the ball. Talk to me about again some of these returners.
Yeah, so when I first got the job, I had watched some film on Bryce, and he's got all the talent in the world. And I challenged him in the beginning of the year to be the best player in our conference. I thought he had the capability to do that, but it was how much he wanted to put in, the work he was going to do. And he came out, and from week one, he didn't back down from anybody. Whenever we needed to make a play, that's where we were going. Towards the end of the season, teams knew that, and it didn't matter. He was able to go out there and make plays. Now, like you said, it helped. We had Jaden Ortiz and Tyne Medical stepped up. We had other options, so teams couldn't solely key on him, but he's only getting better. He's just starting to see his full potential, and I think any college that's going to end up with him is going to get a great kid, and the sky's the limit for him.
Anybody else who's again going to surprise some people this year?
Tyne Medical last year had 500 yards receiving. I think he had about 28 yards per reception.
I think he made honorable mention for all areas.
And he also had 5 interceptions, kicked a 48-yard field goal. So he kind of did everything for us. A kid that to really keep your eye on, Jake Piazza. He was actually our starting running back and got hurt in week 1, about maybe half the quarter, week 1. He was able to come back towards the end of the year, but we didn't want to push it with a knee injury.
Sure.
And Jaden had stepped in and did an amazing job. So, but now we have both of them back, and Jake's more of a speed guy to where Jaden's a little bit more of a bruiser. So we have a nice little combination in the backfield to go along with Bryce and Tyne, and of course Caleb coming back.